Hey beauties, morning to you. Alright, so last evening I was watching I don't even remember the name of the program with Dion Jackson Miller. She's a host, and she had Senator Crawford, Damon Crawford, and some other panelists on the segment. And Darren, I don't remember his name, and I know he used to be on CVM TV as a TV host or anchor for their news program, and he's now a principal for Montego Bay Community College, I think it is. Anywho, they were talking about, and she had to preface that she didn't deliberately invite, the people that she invited, they had plaits or locks, so it wasn't necessarily because they had it why she invited them. It just so happened to be that way. The only, it's a bald head one was the principal there, Mr. Man, and the other lady, here is Platt, another principal. All right, so they were talking about the appropriateness or the lack thereof, what is sanctioned or the lack thereof in terms of hairstyles in schools. And I know some share different viewpoints. The younger panelists, tend to, fairly younger ones, let me say it that way, basically say we need to embrace this new 21st century change and allow people to wear, whether locks or plaits. They were interviewing some people on the road, and as a guy said, I probably would say the very same thing. It's not the hair learning, although it is a part of your adorning, or your adornment, your hair is not the one learning. It's your brain that sends the sensomotor signals throughout the rest of your body to learn, not so much your hair, although your hair is a part of your body. So your hair doesn't go home and say, okay, this is what we are doing today. And I get the point that he was making. All right, one of the things that people need to understand, that I must, in fairness to the principals in schools, and this is coming from even me going to high schools, times are a little bit more liberal now than then. Back in my time, I don't recall, could we wear earrings, like the knobs? I don't remember. I don't think we could. I went to a Catholic school, and they were very strict on certain things. Their skirt had to be at a certain length, not too long. Because there was a girl who had one that was way down, and the principal, who people think would have been archaic and very stern, she said you look like an old woman, because it didn't connote what the school wanted to. It was too extreme, and she was endorsed and moved to cut it. It was really too long, and it made her look old, and so on. And for some reason, it never really bothered me, me, I can say personally, and I'm a jewelry lover. I've always been. I think what people need to understand is that when schools come in with their rules and their regulations, it's to teach you that when you go out into society, to learn how to conform, especially in the workplaces. Because if that is not taught, you're going to have a lot of difficulties as you become an adult. You may not believe it, but I'm telling you. All right, let me share my own experiences. I remember when I went to high school, and our principal would have said, may God rest her soul, excellent principal she was, for about 29 to thereabout years, and she said, ladies, do not walk on the lawns. And he would give trouble and walk on the lawn sometimes. Ladies, do not, she would drive that home, ladies, do not walk on the lawn. She sang that tune almost every day. She wanted us to be ladies. We had to be very ladylike, and she would sing it, and we would ignore, some of us, troublesome me. Can I tell you, people, as I got older, I don't know, it took effect, even though we were ignoring it as students. Some of us, not all. If you see me walking on a lawn, it must be something wrong with the road, or it's not safe to walk on the road. I don't even like seeing people walking on lawns. I do not like seeing it. And sometimes you have some beautiful lawns and people with them heavy foot, just and dig up the thing and make the thing looks bad, and have, it creates this it stunts the growth of the grass and the flowers and so on. And I said, my God. And because she taught us certain principles as a principal, she was allowed to do that. It made us into better women. I'm very liberal. I like my jewelry. I like dressing up nicely. I like wearing colors and so on. Workplaces, because of the whole British colony. When you go to England, I've been there. They're very conservative. So we were under their, sort of lordship. We were under their ruling, the supremacy. I'm using these words, their dictatorship. Let me put it that way. So that is inculcated in us. It's like the children of Israel. They couldn't get Egypt out of them because it was inculcated. So it is inculcated in the schools. It is inculcated in the workplaces. I'm not saying that we can't change some of the things, but I'm saying that it is also good sometimes when we allow ourselves to be taught how to conform, because conformity is necessary at some point in our lives. Let me tell you something, beautiful people. All of us as human beings, I don't care how liberal you are. You could be a feminist, a mephinist, I don't know what that word is. I don't care where you fall on the spectrum. Every one of us, we have some standard and principle that we are not going to, let go of. It doesn't matter how liberal. You could have worshipped the devil, you could have worshipped the sand, you could have worshipped the grass. If you worship Jesus, which is the best thing you could ever do, we all have some standard operating procedures that we follow by. If it is even one dege el numero principle, and you're not going to hold on, you're not going to let go of that, and you want people to respect it. I don't have a problem if a principal says, once they're not being draconians, once they're not being ridiculous, because the reality is you will still survive. Nothing, you will become an adult one day when you can make your own choices. So I have no issues if they said, unless it's for religious purposes, if you wear locks because of your own religion, or maybe you're liking wherever you fall, and they say, boy, no. I don't think we should create a diatribe, create a vitriol, create a big stink over that. Just work with the program. You said many of you survived. Many of you today who are great people who changed, because you're now an adult, you can make your choices where they want to keep the locks, where they want to cut your hair, ball your hair, put in wigs, weave, all kind of things. In other words, when a baby is a baby, you don't give the baby grown provisions, tough food, the way it is, big so for them to bite it, a 1-year-old or a month-year-old baby. Even if you give them pumpkin and so forth, you give them the soft one to crush, but you're not going to give them a tough something for them to bite and chew and swallow. Obviously, it's going to choke them and kill them. It's too much. They have to take time and grow into it. So similarly, it's the same thing, we separate this physical from the social. It teaches conformity, it teaches obedience. Human beings need to learn that, because you see, if you don't do that, I guarantee it's going to create some problems as they get older, because in their minds they feel, I can do anything I feel like. I can say, I don't care where I'm at. I could be in the White House, I could be in Jamaica House, I could be at Vase Royal, I could be in somebody else's home. I can be bad. I'm telling you, it will, because we're natural. We were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. If your religion says you must do this, and you come to some agreement with the school, and you make sure it is kept, whether it's your natural hair or when I say natural, meaning it's not locked, or you wear whatever it is. If they say no braids and you're young, you have time. When you become an adult, you can do your thing. It's just like with your household. Your mother says no this, no that. Your father says no this, no that. But they give you some freedom. Where I would have the problems in the school is where almost like in every area your freedom is taken away. But the hair thing for me is at the bottom of the food chain. I don't think it's something grandiose. I know we're living in a 21st century, and trust me, I am somebody who I believe I'm a balanced kind of person. I like a little tradition, and I like a little liberalism. I like the mix. You have to have a balance. It's about balance living. That's how you keep saying. That's how you live a good life. Right? But and I'm a very liberal kind of, when I say, radical kind of girl, if them say no, you can go without it, you will survive it. Because what happened, beautiful people, is when you come into the work of world, they're not too different, I had a former colleague, and I wanted to understand this is coming from, again, colonialism. Because we were under the white supremacy and, governed by the British ruling and so on. And we black people, our natural hair is kinky. What you call with Jamaicans, they say pepper green. It come like sandpaper. It come like Scotch Sprite. Depends on the texture of your hair and how much black intonation you have in you and whatnot. And I remember she let out her hair, but it was kempt. And a manager came to us and said, "No, bush head up and so forth. Go creamy head, it tough and whatnot." And we have been coming over the many years for this, because I think as black people we never knew how to care our own kinky hair, so we always figured the white man's hair was the white woman's hair was a nice one. You even see me having the little wig thing here, because to this day I can't plait hair and so forth, so I have to just we don't appreciate it. It look like pepper green because we didn't groom it well, probably. You understand what I'm saying? It look nutty, it look terrible. And you have to understand, it takes time for all of this to be waned out of our system and culture. But in the long run, as I say, if it now kill, Wait till you become adult to do what you want to do. That's all I have to say. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this.